I guess for each of you, how does it feel to be out there today?
Well, I personally just felt lucky to be out there, period. I think these two know what I'm talking about.
Well, I felt honored to be out there. When Chairman Ridley called my office and said, we'd like to speak with Tom at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. I was kind of expecting maybe that he might ask me to be an honorary starter, but I was overjoyed and basically humbled because the way I look at these old goats right here, that I can't carry their shoes. I don't kind of belong in the same realm as these two players here, but I was very honored to be selected, and as I said today, I've seen many opening tee shots on this during the Masters over my years, from Freddie McLeod and Jock Hutchinson when I was an amateur in 1970 to Arnie's last event when he sat down and sat on the chair there. I've seen several in the middle with Sam Snead and Byron Nelson, Gene Sarazen. It's just part of the heritage of the tournament that I personally very much like, and to be a part of it. As I said, I'm very humbled to be a part of it.
Watson, you talked about it a little bit, but I just wondered if you expand upon when you get that call, do you answer immediately? Do you have to think about it? Do you ask?
I didn't have to think about it.
No, okay.
No, but I'm not making light of the fact that I was very humbled about it, and I didn't feel I was in the same category as these two. I've always said that, and people had asked me, when are you going to be the honorary starter at Augusta for the last several years? And I said, well, I don't belong there, and honestly. But when Chairman Ridley called me, he asked me, fairly quickly in the conversation, he said, Tom, we really would appreciate it if you would accept our invitation to be an honorary starter with Jack and Gary. And I told him exactly how I just told him. I feel very humbled, and I don't deserve to be there. And he said, no, we'd really like you to do this. And I said, I'd more than happy to do it. And then he followed up very quickly, and he said, Tom, you can do it for as long as you'd like. Which wow. That means, that meant a great deal to me.
You've obviously been around these two, and you've known them for a long time. I wonder if you'd be kind enough to define, to outline the defining characteristic of each of them for us.
I had a chance when I played as an amateur in 1970, and I came here on Friday. I played 5 practice rounds, and I show up at the tee in the par 3 contest. And who did they put me with? Put me with Gary Player, and that was the first time I'd met Gary. And over the years, Gary, grit is what Gary Player is all about. Grit. That's how I define Gary Player. There's never a shot that he ever plays loosely. That's what makes a true champion. You just don't play him loosely. As far as Jack's concerned, I think his mind was the best mind that I ever came around playing. I was introduced to and watched in the game of golf. The way I vicariously followed him a whole round of golf when he won the Heritage Golf Classic at Hilton Head. But I played a lot of practice rounds with him, major championships, especially the British Open, the Open Championship. But I always was keenly aware of how he was playing the golf course. I've said this many times. I think Jack was the best player to take the element of risk out of every shot he played. Understanding the risk, but playing the perfect risk-reward shot, the shots he played on a golf course. So that's how I define the two.
Tiger said something interesting in here a couple of days ago. He said that the day he doesn't believe he can win here will be the day that he doesn't show up anymore. Now, every golfer comes to the point, I guess, when they have to switch out of "I'm only here to win," and then they make the decision whether they're going to come back or not. And just you all had different approaches to that. Tom, you nearly won an Open at the age of 59. I just wondered if you could recall how you thought through that process and about whether it requires a big switch of the mind to come back when you're actually have come to terms with the fact you're probably not going to win the thing anymore.
It was pretty easy for me. I knew I couldn't compete anymore. I couldn't hit the ball far enough, and it was time to. I think what you're asking is, what was the decision-making process to say no mas, and that was it. Very simply. When you can't compete, there's no sense in being on the golf course and taking up a spot for somebody else. That's the way I looked at it.
Tom, we didn't really catch what you said on the tee before you hit your shot. You gave a little speech. I was curious what that was.
You want me to repeat it? I'm 72. I can't remember what I said.
Give us the gist.
No, I said it. It was. I said I was very honored to be there. That I had been there watching Freddie McLeod and Jock Hutchison and watching Sam and Byron and Gene tee off and watching Gary and Jack and Arnie tee off. I made an effort to go out, not an effort, I wanted to go out and see, the opening tee shots, because I thought it's just, to me, it's just part of being at the Masters, to be able to see that and have that memory. It's a wonderful memory to me, so essentially that's what I said.
I guess to kind of what you were talking about as far as when to hang it up and when you felt like you couldn't be competitive anymore here. When you see guys like Freddie and Bernard and coming out here in the way that they've played over recent years and made cuts and pushed, I think Bernard finished 6th a few years ago as well. I guess for all of you, what is that like to see, folks like that at, 62, 63, 64, making those cuts and pushing here at Augusta as well?
Well, I think it's remarkable what Bernhard Langer has done. He had a couple of years ago, he was pretty close to the lead going to the last round.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But I have to say this about Bernhard. Bernhard works harder at the game, practices harder at the game. He has a caddy that works harder than any other caddy preparing. They both prepare the best. I remember Jack saying that I won a lot of tournaments because I out-prepared everybody. You don't have to play the best. That's one of the things when I came on the tour, I thought I have to play perfect golf to ever have a chance, maybe even to make a cut or certainly to win a tournament. I had to play my best. No, you have to play smart. You have to play smart. That's why I was talking about how I watched and learned from the players in practice rounds and how they're playing the golf course. And that Bernhard is that type of person. He prepares very, very. He prepares the best, and I admire that.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you're a kid, you're not aspiring to be a honorary starter. So, do you see now as this really pretty much a culmination of your career?
Well, life is a process, and when I look back at my career, I had about a 7-year run where I really played well. But it's a process. Up until that time, I had trouble finishing golf tournaments. Then I learned how to finish golf tournaments. Then I struggled with my game. Then I reinvented my game basically with the golf. Changed my golf swing. Then I had the opportunity to win at an older age at Turnberry in 2009. Played the PGA Tour Champions Tour. I still call it the Senior Tour, but it was a process. And again, when people were asking me when will you become an honorary starter, I said, I don't think I deserve that. It's just, but I guess it's a culmination of kind of the process. I had a pretty good career. Not like these guys, but I had a pretty good career. And it's kind of the culmination of it. And again, Alex, I'm very honored to be here. I enjoy this tournament, especially how it has progressed very quickly in the last 10 years. I remember when Billy Payne came to the Champions Dinner his first year as the chairman of the tournament, and he said, "Gentlemen, I intend to make this tournament the best sporting event in the world. Not the best tournament in the world, but the best sporting event in the world." You know, by God, I think he's pretty close to having that. You know, the Masters tournament is looked upon in the world of sport as kind of the go-to sporting event. You can say American football, the Super Bowl. You can say the World Cup and what they call proper football. To the World Cup in rugby. This is kind of the pinnacle of sport that people, when they think about sport, they think about the Masters. And damn, it's hard to get a ticket here.
Time for one more question, and the lady in the white jacket, please.
Who would you, and these are two, they may be the same question and they may be a different question, but who would you like to win the Masters and who do you think will win the Masters? Because those could be one and the same.
My dark horse is Sam Burns. I don't think you can call him a dark horse. He's really been playing well. It's kind of under the radar. He's won some. I like his golf swing. I'm just going to go out on a limb.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so very much for being with us. And speaking as a golf fan, it is a pure joy to see y'all, to hear you reflect on your stories, and we appreciate so much you being here. Thank y'all. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.